Yeah, in this video we are going to see about the what is class and what is object, how objects will be created for a class, how many number of objects do we have for a class. All these things let me try to discuss in this video. Mainly the class is something like which is a blueprint. Okay, so I can say class is a blueprint. Okay, so class doesn't have, class is class is blueprint which doesn't allocate any memory. It is a logical entity. Okay, class doesn't have any memory, which is a logical entity. So I can say that, for example, some Maruti company is there. Okay, let me assume a Maruti Suzuki company is there. What they are going to do at the beginning? So they will perform the design. They will do design for some model. For this design, it doesn't allocate any memory and all, which is a blueprint, okay, or which is a architecture, genre architecture, which doesn't allocate any memory and all. Based on this design, they are going to produce n number of products, same models. Let me take a now any new model coming into the market and all. What they are going to first do? So they are going to first design it. Everything is fine. Then they will start producing. Okay, so they will start producing the things like here n number of products, guys. N number of similar products they are going to produce. N number of similar products they are going to produce. Okay, so like lakhs of products, lakhs of cars they are going to produce. But the base is very simple. This based on this design only, they are going to produce lakhs of cars. This design does not have any memory, but the actual car will have the memory. So actual car is an object, but this design or blueprint is nothing but class. Okay, whatever the blueprint they are following to produce same model cars, lakhs of cars. So that design part, whatever the design they have done, based on this design only we are going to produce lakhs of same cars. This design doesn't allocate any memory, but actual car will allocate the memory. Actual car will allocate the memory. Okay, so actual car will allocate the memory, but object is having the memory. So these cars are nothing, all are objects related to this class, Maruti Suzuki class. Okay, related to this design, all same cars they are producing. That is the reason this is a car. Okay, it is a car. It is class. Car is a class. This design is a class, and these all objects. Whatever we are producing, number of same cars based on the design. These all I can say are objects. Object is nothing but any real world entity. Any real world entity is nothing but object. Any entity you can take. Your laptop, your mouse, your charger, whatever you are able to see, everything is an object of that particular class. Okay. For example, they want to produce the HP laptop. First they will design the things how they want to, and then they will start producing lakhs of laptops into the market. So class is nothing but HP's laptop, blueprint is the class. Based on that blueprint, they are producing lakhs of laptops. Those all laptops are nothing but objects related to that class. Okay, so class doesn't have any memory, which is a logical entity, same like blueprint. But when memory will be allocated? Whenever you created object to that class. Okay, whenever you created object to that class, then for that object memory will be allocated. Okay, for that object memory will be allocated. Okay, so finally I can say class is an blueprint, which is having only designing part of it, which doesn't allocate any memory. It is a logical entity. Okay, when for this class the memory will be allocated, guys? Whenever you created the object for this class. Okay, when the memory will be allocated here? For the design and all, no memory. It is the logical part. When you created the car is an object. When you created second car, it is an object. Third car, it is an object. So based on this blueprint, you are going to create n number of cars. Each car is an object based on this class. Okay. For each class, you can create n number of objects. See, lakhs of cars Maruti Suzuki is producing. Each car is an object. Each car is an object. You can take fruits, for example. You can take fruits is in a class. Okay. You can take fruits is in a class. In this class, okay, in this class, n number of fruits may be there. Maybe you can take, one of the fruit is banana will be there. That is an object. But fruits doesn't allocate any memory. Just you are telling fruits. But when memory will be allocated for banana, you want to take it. That is a physical entity. Then memory will be allocated. Okay, similar way, you can take oranges. That is also physical entity. Okay, physical entity. So for that, memory will be allocated. So fruits is a blueprint, which is a class. In this class, you contain so many objects. You can create n number of objects for these fruits. Okay. So based on all these examples, I need to conclude one thing like class is an logical entity, which is a blueprint. For each class, you can create n number of objects. Okay. Which one is having memory? Class doesn't have any memory, which is just a logical entity. But whenever you created object to that class, then the memory will be allocated for that object. Object is anything, real world entity. Anything is nothing but object. Okay. Whenever you created object for that class, then the memory will be allocated for that object. Okay. So class is nothing but which is a logical entity. Now how to create the object for a class? Any class, already you know classes, right? For example, I have a, one class is there. A equal to new a. This is the syntax for creating the object to the class. Here this a is class name, this a is reference variable, and this is object. This object will be stored into this reference variable. Okay. I will show you all this practically. Try to understand. Whenever you are using new keyword, it will create a new object for us. Whenever you are using new keyword, it will create a new object for us for that class. Okay. So, here you are creating a new object. Here you are creating a new object. And a is class name. This a is a reference variable. And new a is nothing but object. This object is going to store it into where? This reference variable. Okay. Let me see practically all this. See, I am planning to create one more package. Let me create one more package. Okay, new class. Let me try to create, and package also I am giving package 2. So I am giving class example. Fine. Okay. This is my class example. So inside this, let me have one more class. Class. My class name is, I can take it as a print. Okay. My class name is, let me take it as a print. It is having one more method, public void. Later we will discuss about all these things. Display. One method is there. Okay. This is a method. Like public static void main, how the method is. Here also one method I am having, display method. Okay. In this display method, I want to print the information. Observe carefully here. This is for display. This is for display. Okay. This is one class. This is another class. In one file, you can have a number of classes, but wherever you are using public static void main, that class name should be your file name. Please remember this point. You can have n number of classes in one single file, but wherever you are using public static void main, that class name should be your file name. Okay, fine. Now I want to make a call to this method. in this class, one method is there. Method is nothing but very simple. It is containing some collection of statements used for perform some functionality. Okay, method is nothing but in Java. Okay, method is nothing but in Java, which is the containing collection of statements. Whenever you want, you can make a call to that particular method. Okay, method is nothing but it is containing collection of statements. That's it. What is public void, later we will discuss. Okay, so this is one class. In this class you are having display method is there. I want to make a call to this method. How we can create? I want to use this class. I want to create an object to this class. How we can create? Tell me. Same, this class name. I am creating object here. Class name, your reference variable equal to new class name. Like this way you can create. Okay, this is your class name and this is your reference variable, and new keyword you are calling. This will create an object and assign it to this reference variable. Now I want to make a call to this display method. How we can call? So internally what is happening is, see here, internally what is happening is, let me show you the architecture of this one. Internally what is happening is, what is the class name? We have the print class, right? We have the print class. But actually print class, we don't have any memory. Because it is a class. When memory will be allocated, whenever you created the object for it. I am creating a object print p equal to new print I am calling. Okay. Object is created for this class. For this class, object is created. Okay. For this class, object is created. Then the memory will be allocated for this class. Okay. Then the memory will be allocated for this class. Okay. Then what it is going to do is, what it will do is, like, it will create a one memory. Okay, it will create a one memory in the heap memory. In the heap memory it will create a one memory. So in the heap, all the objects and everything will be there in heap memory. In the heap memory, so it will create an object with the name p will be there. Okay, in the heap memory the object will be stored. Okay, in the heap memory the object will be stored. Internally, whenever you want to make a call, okay, now come back. So the print is the class. For that you created the object. For print, do we have any memory? No, it is a class. For p, do we have memory? Yes, because p is an object. Okay, you are creating an object here. So for this object the memory will be allocated. Okay, memory will be allocated in the heap memory, and the p will be available in the heap memory. Okay, perfect. So now one method is there. Okay, method nothing but what, guys? It is going to perform some functionality which is containing some collection of statements. I want to make a call to this method. How we can do that? Very simple. Okay, so p.display method will be there. Like this way you can make a call to this display method. Okay, so here it is the method which is containing this statement. Okay, whenever object is created, okay, then p.display, it is going to make a call to this particular method. Okay, this way you can do it. How to create the object and all, guys? How to create the object and all? Let me create another class. See here, I am having the class car example. Okay, so car example I am trying to create it. This is my car example. Okay, let me have another class here. Class vehicle. My car is vehicle class. It contains what, guys? It contains int number of tires, or int for what are all the different properties will be there for the vehicle, guys. So it will have the state and behavior. Correct? It is for let me assume int weight will be there. Vehicle weight, int weight, and length also let me take. These are all the two variables we have in this class, int weight and int length. Just I am having another method. I am having another method to display that data. Display info. One more method I am having. Okay. Here I am going to display the data. So my car weight is just plus operator, already we discussed, right, which is used for what, guys? Appending. Which is used for appending. Length is plus length, I am going to use it. Okay. So just I am trying to print my weight and length. Guys, any variables, any class outside of a method, these variables are nothing but instance variables. These variables are nothing but what? Instance variables. Outside of a method, inside of a class. These are nothing but what? Instance variables. These instance variables are different to the objects. Each object will have its own instance variables. Okay, that I am going to show you now. Okay, these two variables are instance variables because which are available in class but outside of a method. These instance variables, I can say these are all specific to the object. These are specific to the object. For example, let me create one object here for this class. Okay, what is the class? Vehicle class. V1 equal to new vehicle. Class name, your reference variable equal to new class name we need to use. Now, okay, v1 dot weight, I am setting it as a v1 dot weight, I am setting it as a 12.5 or 12. Okay, whatever it is. Now, okay, so it is integer variable, right? You should not give in double quotes. Fine. Next, v1 dot length equal to, I am giving 20, for example. Now these two are specific to the v1 object. Now I will call v1 dot display info. What will happen? Tell me. Is it going to display 1220 or not? Please observe carefully here. See, weight is 12, length is 20. So these are all specific to the v1 objects. These two are instance variables which are available to the each and every object. Now you are setting this weight to which object? V1. Now you are setting length to which object? V1. Similarly, I want to create another object. You can create n number of objects, guys. If one blueprint is there with you, you can create n number of same products, right? Similar way, you can create n number of objects here. Now, let me take v2 is our reference variable. So here also, you can set v2. So here I am giving 120 and here I am giving 200. Okay. Now see here, this is information related to v1. This is information related to another object, v2. Now run it. See, this one is 1220, this one is 120, 200. So each object will have its own instance variables. Okay, each object will have its own instance variables. So how it will be there is like in any object you created, for example, any object you are creating. Okay, any object you are creating. Now, so how it will be is, yeah, how it will be is each object you are creating, this is v1, this is v1 and this is v2. Okay, this is the v1 object and this is v2 object for the vehicle class. Class is vehicle. It contains what here? It contains ID, it contains weight, it contains length, it contains its own variables in the display info. Similarly here also, it contains its own weight, it contains its own length, it contains its own display info method. Okay, you can create similar way. you can create n number of objects to a class. You can create n number of objects to a class. Now you need to understand one point here. Object is nothing but it has state and behavior. Object is nothing but it has, see, state. So these are all the two are there, right? Its behavior. It is having its own behavior. So object contains its own state and behavior. Okay. Objects contains its own state and behavior. You can also call an object is instance of a class. An object is instance of a class. How many objects we can create for a class? You can create n number of objects for class. You can create n number of objects for a class. Okay. So these two variables are what? Instance variables, which are outside of the method and inside of a class. Okay. So instance variables are separate to object to object. Instance variables are like as I showed you here, it is separate to each object to object, it is separate. Okay. So like this way you can work with the class and objects. Finally, let me recap. Class is a logical entity which doesn't have any memory. An object is a physical entity which has state and behavior. You can create n number of objects to a class. Each class is having its own instance variables. Okay, its own instance variables will be there. And yeah, so objects memory location is in the heap memory. All the objects will be there and its own instance variables and everything will be there. Okay. So Java is an object oriented programming language. Okay. Java is what, guys? Java is object oriented programming language. So Java follows hoops principles. Hoops means object oriented programming principles like inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, abstraction. All we are going to discuss very clearly here. Okay. So Java follows hoops concepts, object oriented programming concepts. Those all we are going to learn in the coming sessions. Okay. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much.